Kozar.
Here.
Trustee Sabri.
Here.
And Assistant Village President.
Oh,
Deputy.
here, Deputy Village President,
There you
here.
go. Now I got it right, Deputy. Carry a phone.
I'm here. Will you all please stand to join us for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next on the agenda, amendments to the agenda. Do we have any amendments to the agenda?
I have amendment that perhaps we can move the executive session to the first, please, and also the consent agenda 9C, D, E, and F, and also 13 resolution A to move to a certain date.
So we have a motion to go into executive session as well as to remove agenda items 9C, 9D, 9E, 9F, and 13A from our agenda this evening and move to a date certain. Do you have a date certain?
It could be next week, next session, the board meeting, or perhaps could be first week of next year.
I think it would be best to separate these into two separate motions.
Got it.
The motion to enter executive session would be separate from taking things off the consent agenda, which actually could just, we could also hold off on that. But I understand you want to continue it. Do you have, if I may, do you have questions about the items?
Yes.
That you would want to,
Yes.
that you don't want to just sort out today? Because you can remove them from consent and still handle it today if you wanted.
I'd like to move to a certain date.
Okay.
So, yeah, no,
Thank you, I just was clarifying.
So then, Attorney Morton, do we need to go by the way that it was presented, or can we go by removing the agenda items first and then?
I would remove continue the agenda items first.
Okay, so we have a motion to continue the agenda items 9C, 9D, 9E, 9F, and 13A. Do we have a second on that motion?
I'll second.
Do we have discussion? Yes, trustee Kozar,
If you don't mind, just give me 15 seconds. to
You
just
got it.
kind of review these.
you got it.
And could I also get, I'm sorry,
Yeah, please.
could I just get clarification? Which date did you say you wanted to move it to?
let's move to a first meeting of January, what that date would be. I'm sorry, I was not prepared
January
for the
12th?
date. January 12th will be fine. Due to the holidays and so forth, yeah.
Trustee, my only concern with that is that some of these items with regard to the fire and police unions take effect January 1st.
Right.
So you could approve them after, but if there were changes that you wanted to suggest or make, it wouldn't be effective if it was after January 1st.
I'd like to discuss that before. So before we approve, there are certain questions that we need to be, and then perhaps after the executive session, we can put them back on again.
So then would it be possible to discuss, to put them up for our next agenda on the 15th and have that discussion at that time?
I can move to that, yes.
Thank you.
So do we amend that, we amend the motion, or?
If both trustees Sabrina and trustee Constable.
I'll amend. I was going to suggest that to the next one because I knew that the date for January would pass then. So if we could amend that, yes, I'll second the amendment.
Discussion? Trustee Kozar, I'll give you a couple more moments. I'll wait.
I'm
I'll
good.
yield to you.
I think it kind of resolved itself by putting it on the next meeting, next week. And then any questions or concerns that trustee Sabrini may have can hopefully get resolved within the week, and we can have further discussion. So, yeah, no problem.
Okay. Seeing no other discussion, Clerk Lowcate, would you do a roll call vote, please?
Trustee Cordova.
Yes.
Trustee Constados.
Yes.
Trustee Kozar.
Yes.
Trustee Sabri.
Yes.
And would you like to vote, Village Deputy
Yes,
President?
I'll vote today. Yes.
Deputy Village Manager
Man's
President. Deputy Village President.
Yes.
Carrie Alfano.
Yes. All right, so then we also have a motion on the table to go into executive session. Do we have a second?
To go in right now.
I'll second the motion.
Okay,
He wants to do executive session first. Why?
all right, so we have a first and a second. Do we need to do discussion on that too, if it's executive session?
I would like to just briefly.
You got it.
Trustee Sabri, why would you like to move that executive session to the beginning of the meeting versus at the end of the meeting?
There are certain discussion need to be made. That we have to be in the executive session for that.
Okay. But it's your opinion that we couldn't just do it at the end of our meeting?
I believe we need to go into a further discussion. It may take a little longer, and we have some urgent matter that need to be taken care. The meeting may go longer, so we need to address this issue before.
Okay, I understand.
So executive session pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2C1, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body or legal counsel for the public body. And then I'm not sure how we actually go out into an executive session. Oh, okay, all right. Clerk Lowkent?
Trustee Cordova.
Yes.
Trustee Constados.
Yes.
Trustee Kozar.
Yes.
Trustee Kumar.
Yes.
Trustee Sabri.
Yes.
And Village. I'm gonna get it eventually by the time you're
Deputy
gone.
Village- Deputy Village President.
Look at the
Deputy
flag.
Village President.
Yes. All right, we will be adjourning into executive session, and we will come back into the meeting after.
So everybody's leaving this room?
We're leaving this room?
calling this special meeting of the Village Board of Trustees on December 8th, 2025, back into session at 6:40-ish, I think. I don't have my glasses on. Clerk Laukit,
I'm sorry.
roll call, please.
Trustee Cordova. Here. Trustee Constados.
Here.
Trustee Kozar.
Here.
Trustee Kumar.
Here.
Trustee Sabri.
Here.
Deputy Village President Gary.
Here.
Alfano.
In executive session, we also discussed collective bargaining issues, so the public is aware of that. Before we open up public comments on agenda items, I want to take this moment, just in the interest of civility, I want to encourage civility here in Villa Park and at our board meetings by listening, being respectful of others, acknowledging that we are all striving to support and improve our community, and understanding that we each may have different ideas for achieving that objective, but we are neighbors and we are residents here in Villa Park, and we should respect each other as such. With that said, are there any public comments on agenda items, Clerk Lockett?
There are not.
Anybody have any public comments on agenda items? Anyone in attendance?
There are not.
Seeing none, public comments on non-agenda items?
There are none.
Anyone in attendance? Public comments on non-agenda items?
There are none.
All right, moving on, we have no proclamations, no presentations, appointment to commissions. I don't have the memo. Oh, okay. Appointment to commissions, item 8A, appointment of Leslie Allison CI to the Villa Fest Commission and as commission chair for a term expiring May 31st, 2028. Do I have a motion?
I would like to make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Discussion? Trustee Cordova?
I'm happy for Leslie to jump in and volunteer. She's on another, is she going to be removing herself from the other commission, or is she going to be doing two commissions at once?
I believe that she is actually going to be removing herself from that commission, that's my understanding, although I am not certain of that. I think there might be a role change there.
How do we find out?
I would have to ask.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Madam President. Does that concern you?
it does. When we dissolved the original commissions, one of the biggest points was there were people that were on multiple commissions. I was looking for it today. I couldn't find the exact quote, but I can certainly pull it up.
But that wasn't a concern of yours. That was somebody else's, so now it's a concern of yours?
It's a concern
You've
when.
come around to the
Oh,
idea?
Sorry.
Yes.
So, no.
No, you haven't come around to the idea?
Let's not interrupt each other.
Yeah, I don't understand what's
Just trying to
happening.
understand what he's saying.
So when we originally voted, or when the vote was to dissolve all the commissions, one of the reasons was because there were people on multiple ones. If that's still the same thinking, and we're okay with that, then we need to say as a board that originally we dissolved the commissions because there were people on multiple ones. We no longer feel that way, and we're okay with having people be on multiple ones. That's all I was saying. So I asked if she was already on one, and if she plans to stay on one, so she'll be on two, or she's going to remove herself from one and be on another. So that's why I asked.
Trustee Constados?
Yes, thank you. I believe the concern wasn't the fact of just people being on more than one commission. It was the fact that people had been on commissions for 10, 12, whatever excessive amount of years. Not so much that they were on two commissions, but maybe on 6 commissions for half their life. I know that. You know what I mean? I don't believe it was just the fact of somebody just being on 2, to my recollection. Could be wrong, but I'm just saying.
Trustee Sabri?
This question is to Trustee Cordova. Do you have a concern? Why are we questioning about if she wants to serve 2 commissions?
Go ahead.
Sure.
Trustee Cordova.
So as a trustee, I get to ask questions, right?
Correct.
That's it.
Okay. So a resident can be in multiple commissions. This question is for Morton Ryan, please. Is that a resident could be in multiple commissions? There is nothing in the,
The commission policies that this board adopted a few months ago added a condition that you cannot serve on multiple commissions. So if we do not have the clarity right now about which commission this person would no longer be serving on, it doesn't preclude you from voting. It would just be a decision for that person to make after the fact, or you could continue this appointment.
Go ahead.
I am just
Trustee
suggesting that we just wait one more session to address this issue, and see if that is. Honestly speaking, I feel like the Villa Fest Commission itself, as a separate commission, could have been a subcommittee, rather than a commission under the Fund Commission. And that would have been another way to address this in an already available fashion. And that is something we could also think about. So maybe we should table this for this exact moment and ask the person in question how she wants to do this particular job.
Yeah, I think we need to know what the term ending is, when the term limit is, or where Leslie's term on the Fund Commission ends. We don't have that information, and also we don't have the ability right now for the Fund Commission to have subcommittees, because that's going to be later on our agenda. So right now, it's different from what all of the other commissions are. So we're going to try to correct that as well. Go ahead, Trustee Sabri.
if I may, the Villa Fest Commission is already been approved, and it is.
It has been.
So why are we suggesting now to have a subcommission and so forth? We should stick with this, and if we need to table it, we can come back to the next meeting. Thank you.
Trustee Cordova?
Attorney Morton, can you tell me where that proclamation was? What number it is?
So that was in the ordinance that was, you're talking about with the prohibition? The ordinance adopted August 25th of this year, section 2-1405C.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? So we have a motion to vote on it.
I'll make a motion that we should table this for the next meeting, for the next board meeting,
December 15th.
December 15th.
We have a motion to table until December 15th. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to table until December 15th. Discussion? Seeing none, Clerk Lunkett, roll call?
Trustee Cordova.
Yes.
Trustee Constados.
Yes.
Trustee Kozar.
Yes.
Trustee Kumar.
Yes.
Trustee Sabri.
Yes.
Deputy Village President
Yes.
Carrie Alfano.
Yes. Yes. All right, we will have that on for the next agenda. Agenda item number 8B, appointment of Cindy Wood as Chair of the Senior Concerns Commission. Do I have a motion?
I'd like to make that motion.
Motioned by Trustee Constados. We have a second.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Trustee Kozar. Discussion? Trustee Kozar?
I just think Cindy Wood will make a fine chair to the Seniors Concerns Commission. So I'm glad to see her doing that. Thank you, Cindy.
Trustee Constados?
I was going to say the same thing, but it beat me to it.
Any other discussion? Clerk Lunkett, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Cordova.
Yes.
Trustee Constados.
Yes.
Trustee Kozar.
Yes.
Trustee Kumar.
Yes.
Trustee Sabri.
Yes.
Deputy Village President
Yes.
Carrie Alfano.
Yes. Moving on to item 9, consent agenda, 9A, bill listings for the week of November 17th, 2025, in the amount of $1,057,186.71, and for the week of November 24th, 2025, in the amount of $2,181,801.13. Item B, approval of the minutes of the Village Board of Trustees meeting held on November 24th, 2025. Item G, a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving final change order number 1 to the contract with the Builders Paving LLC of Hillside, Illinois, for construction of the Highland Avenue resurfacing for a net deduction in the amount of $45,628.42. Item H, a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing and approving an encroachment license agreement with Marquette Real Estate Investments LLC regarding certain rights-of-way adjacent to the property located at 100 to 110 South Villa Avenue. Item I, a resolution to support the legislative action program of the DuPage Mayors and Managers Conference for the 2026 legislative session. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motioned by trustee Kozar. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by trustee Constados. Discussion? No discussion? I do have some questions about the bill listings. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Never mind. All right, so, oh, I can, no, that's okay. I will ask. I'll ask later. So let's do a roll, do we have to do a roll call vote? Roll call vote.
Trustee Cordova?
Yes.
Trustee Constados?
Yes.
Trustee Kozar?
Yes.
Trustee Kumar?
Yes.
Trustee Sabri?
Yes.
Deputy Village President Gary Alfano.
Yes. Moving on to item 10, A, ordinance for first reading, an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, amending Article 29 of Chapter 2 of the Villa Park Municipal Code regarding the Community Fund Commission. Do I have a,
I'd like to make that motion.
thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second. I actually also wanted to
All right.
make a motion to waive the first reading.
All right, so we have a motion to waive the first reading.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Trustee Kozar?
Was your motion just to clarify, to waive and vote?
Yes, sorry. Sorry about that. Clarify, my motion is to waive and vote, please.
Any other discussion? Clerk Plunkett, roll call, please.
Trustee Cordova?
No.
Trustee Constados?
Yes.
Trustee Kozar?
Yes.
Trustee Kumar?
No.
Trustee Sabri?
Yes.
Deputy Village President Gary Alfano.
Yes.
It's just so.
All right, we do not have any ordinances for a second reading. 12A ordinances, an ordinance adopting a budget for the Village of Villa Park, County of DuPage, State of Illinois, for all corporate purposes, in lieu of an annual appropriation ordinance for the fiscal year commencing on January 1st, 2026, and ending on December 31st, 2026. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by trustee Kozar. Do we have a second?
I will second it.
Seconded by trustee Sabri. Discussion.
Yes.
Trustee Sabri?
Yes, we do have a discussion. Well, first of all, thank you very much, Manager Rivas, sending us the packet. It was really long. We studied it. I looked at it. The question is, we have the budget here, which is 2026 budget. We have few things and concerns and questions, and also with that, we received a full list of employees which are full-time employees, and also we have received a organizational chart which lists that Village of Villa Park, and then we have the community development. I have a few questions, and perhaps the staff can answer those.
Absolutely. If Madam President
Yes,
will allow.
please
Yes.
do. Who would you like to call up?
First of all, I'd like to ask Community Development Director Michelle House. I have a couple of questions here about the organizational chart, and that is going to correlate to the budget, that how we are driving this budget into it. And then I do have other questions from the other department as well. Hi, if you kindly can kind of let us know that how many full-time employees do you have in your staff that are you fully staffed, first of all, for the budget 2026?
For the positions that are currently filled, yes, but from the last.
I'm looking at the
within-
entire organizational chart here, that we have a inspection supervisor reports to you, then we have the building inspector reports to you, then we have a plumbing inspector reports to you, and then we also have a fire inspector who reports to you. Do you have a fire inspector under yours command?
Yes, so the fire inspectors, there's actually several. Those are all within a side contract, so they're all currently Villa Park firefighter paramedics that work on their off-shift days for my department doing fire inspections. So there's about 4 staff members who are full-time, working for Chief Stapleton, and then working for me on their off days.
Okay, so what we're saying is that you have, are they part-time or are they contract employees?
So they're on a side, it's a Chief Stapleton, 7G, part of the contract, but they act as a community development employee when they are working doing fire inspections.
Okay, so do we have their line item listed in the budget item as well?
They're in the part-time line item of the budget,
Part-time line item?
within the community development budget. Yeah, thank you. Yes, so there is currently 4 staff members who are included within the part-time community development budget.
Okay, what I would like to see is that, see this, the organizational chart is not, to me, to my knowledge, is not complete. If we have a fire inspector, then you need 4 fire inspectors, so that need to be clarified on the organizational chart, so we know what to budget for and what to look for. I understand that we have quite a big list that was presented to us. So then again, we have property inspector, then we have contractual plan review, and then we also have contractual inspectors. See, this is all a little confusing, but we like to see what they are and what are those firms and how we are getting those firms to work for us. And also, we also have a manager reporting to you, which is, his name is Mike Malone, which is a economic development manager. Is just added on to your list. Is that true? Is this just added on? We don't have that in the full-time employees list. We don't have these staff member, which they came to the packet, that these are the full-time employees we have.
So, just to clarify, Mike Mallon's not a full-time employee. That contract was brought to the board for approval. He works for the village 20 hours a month, doing economic development activity. We meet with him bi-weekly to review what he's done in that 2-week time period. Just to clarify, for the other contractual plan review and inspections, the contractual plan review is used when a project is large. So for instance, the union is going through and getting their reviews right now. That project is too large for us to complete that review internally. So we only utilize those plan review external parties when a project is large enough that we would need to. Currently, we're using FSCI to do those plan reviews. that cost is passed along to the applicant. The village does not bear the cost of that plan review.
I think what I'd like to see from your end is you have a CEDA analyst, you have a planner, you also have a permit tech, you also have a receptionist, you also have a record assistant. But on the full-time employees list, all I have is 1, 2, 3, we have 5 employees which are full-time, and all these are part-time? And I'd like to see, maybe this is not a question for you, perhaps our different staff can answer those questions. So what I like to see is, in the budget, how many part-time employees we have and how many full-time employees we have under your command, so we know what to budget for, what to see, and so a board has a clear picture. I don't see this clear picture here. So this is just for your, thank you. These are all the questions I have. So I would like to see a new organizational chart with the employee's name on it, perhaps, that we know who they are and which capacity and how they are working under you, so we can plan ahead of time that what is the community economic development department, is it fully staffed or is it understaffed? And we have, I thought this contractual economic development manager, Mike Malone, I thought he was just going to help you and he's going to work in a different direction, not as a manager. So this is I want to clarify that.
So he is working under, I oversee his work. He is doing economic development for the village, making contacts, talking with property owners, brokers, potential interested businesses, so.
But his title was not a manager. We did not approve this as a manager. We approved that as a contractual outside firm that's going to help us.
Correct.
So I see an issue here, so that issue needs to be addressed. In this chart, I need to see entire list of all your employees with the names, including full-time and part-time, before I move any further with the approval of certain things. So I'm done, thank you. And I also have a question for our fire department chief. Steve Stapleton, please.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Director House.
Thank you, Chief. Just a quick question. I know we have a standard which is NFPA 1710, which kind of tells us that as per Village of Villa Park, that we currently, let's say we have 22,000 residents, as per those, that if we have a fire truck, we need 4 firefighter per engine. And also, same thing for the ambulance, we need 3 firefighter per ambulance. How many can we clarify this, that how many, what we have, how many engines we have, how many ambulances we have? So I did the research already. You guys are spot on, but I'd like the village resident to know that where we are standing with your department today. Are we fully staffed?
No, we are not. Let me clarify. So 1710 is the national, NFPA is the national consensus standard. 1710 deals with staffing for structure fires. And yes, there's a standard of 4 on an engine, 2 on an ambulance. What we currently have in our model, and I've explained it at previous board meetings, is, so our fire station, we have our fire department, we have 2 stations, fully manned, 24/7. We have 3 shifts. They work 24 hours on, 48 hours off. Authorized staffing level is 9 per shift, which gives me 27 firefighter paramedics, which includes the 6 lieutenant paramedics. We are currently at 25, so we're too short. We're in the process of hiring those 2 so we can be at the full staffing level. Our test just closed December 5th. Our interviews are scheduled for the 17th and the 19th with the Board of Fire and Police Commission. After the 10-day waiting period for points, we're hoping to have an initial list, and we could hire the first 2 off of that qualified candidates so we can be at that staffing level. So what it is how we run is very unique. What we run is jump companies, okay? And what that means is we have, depending on our staffing level, our minimum manning in the contract is 6 currently. It's going to 7 come January 1st, but 6. So what that means is, out of the 9, per contract, we're allowed 2 people off per day for vacation, comp time, Kelly day, floating Kelly day, or not including sick. So I'm hoping that we'll have 7 a day, but that doesn't take into account any sick time or injury. So when we're on an engine call, everyone in that house goes on the engine, and then the ambulance is unstaffed. Just like if we're on a medical call, the 2 firefighter paramedics go on the ambulance, and then if we only have 1 person, the lieutenant back, he'll go in a car, and then the engine is unstaffed. So even though you drive by the fire station and say, oh, look, Station 81, they got 2 engines, 2 ambulances, and a car, doesn't mean they're always staffed. We run around 3,300 calls a year, which averages 8 to 10 a day, for a 2-station department that's extremely busy. So when we run the jump company like that, we leave the ambulance behind or the engine behind, depending on the type of calls. That's why I previously wanted to hire the 3 additional firefighter paramedics and pay for them with our ambulance billing, but which turned out is we're actually getting the full Ghent reimbursement. So we pulled that off the table for now until 2027, which I'll reintroduce that, possibly in the 4th quarter of 26 to start the process, because then that is when the new bill kicks in where private insurance companies will have to pay our full cost report. Right now, like I said previously, they pay whatever they pay. So when I bring the request for 3 additional firefighter paramedics, I want to bring a funding source for it. So in good conscience, I didn't want to move forward, but especially with the deficit that the village budget was facing.
And another question I have is I know we have 2 fire stations. Are these 2 fire stations are adequate for this size of town, which I think they are. But I just want to make sure that I want to hear from you that those 2 fire stations are fully staffed. If they're not, I will suggest that perhaps we can update this organizational chart again and bring up to speed what you have and what you are looking for. That will help us to understand and clarify what your needs are.
Sure. So if you wanted to have a 3-person engine and a 2-person ambulance every day, you would need 10 people to staff that. In order to have 10, that would be the minimum. So usually you would have to have around 13, especially if you're going to allow 2 people off per. Remember what I said, the fire stations are only constructed, there's only room for 5 beds in each station. So that is at that level of 10. Now, depending on the staffing level, minimum manning, we're usually minimum staffed 66% of the time. At 7, it goes around 22%, and then fully staffed, less than 10%. So depending on the staffing levels, we are talking, it's not feasible to hire more than the 10 minimum to have in their current fire stations. Again, they were built in 1975 and 1967. So we're in the process right now of remodeling Station 81 to put the current showers in, the 3 instead of the 2. And then after that's done, we will work on Station 82, getting another shower into that one.
Thank you. I think it will help that if you can clarify this even better, that the organization chart we have, this is good, but it need more detail. So I will suggest that we,
Yeah.
I like to see how many paramedics we have. You know, we are under red, gold, and black shift, what you're looking for, and what you have current and what your needs are. I will say for 2026, I need to have a little bit more clarification on that. Thank
For
you.
2026,
2026, yes.
yes, we're gonna stay status quo, just to hire the two, go to the authorized staffing level of 27 firefighter paramedics. In '27, we were gonna bring it back to the board with the funding source to ask for an additional 3 firefighter paramedics, which would bring our staffing level to 10. Not a minimum of 10, but 10. With only allowing 2 people off per shift, then the minimum staffing hopefully will be 8. And this ties all in together with the current contract where the minimum manning is gonna be bumped up to 7. But per policy, I can increase it to 8 if we had those extra firefighter paramedics, which we're not for 2026. But we will reintroduce them in 2027, and hopefully the board and the budget will allow.
Thank you. Chief, the only reason I'm asking for it, because we don't have the 2024 budget, and we hardly working with the 2025 budget, and I don't have all of this listing. So we're looking for 2026 budget. That's gonna help me and the resident to understand that what your needs are. Are you fully staffed? And also, when 2027 comes, it will help us to review, see where you want to be in 2027. So I need that clarification from you before we pass this, probably very soon. As soon as you can provide us that information, that would be helpful. Thank you. Next question I have is for Police Chief Todd Kubish. Hello, sir.
Morning, sir. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Great.
First of all, thank you for wonderful job you guys are doing. You really are out there every day, and I can understand that. And I see that the information I receive from you, and as well as the information I have received here. Very thoroughly done. Thank you. Again, I'm going to ask you the same question here, that under ICMA, the national average, what we have and what your needs are we fully staffed as of for 2026 budget?
We actually are down 2 officers right now. We're in the process of going through applications and applicants. The current list was just recently exhausted. The applicants did not meet the specifications of what we're looking for. So we're in the process of starting a new testing process right now. So hopefully, I'm hoping by the end of January we'll start that up. And we're looking to hire 2. One to replace Deputy Chief McCann. The second, Manager Rivas has allowed us to hire early for a retirement coming up in March. So we're not fully staffed. We're down 1 person, to answer your question. But not lack of village, it's lack of applicants, if that makes sense.
And the question comes back the same, because I'm looking at the budget, I'm looking at the numbers, and I'm looking at the staff, what we have. Again, I don't have the 2025, what you are currently underworking, what you have. I have no idea. So I cannot speak for 2025 because this is almost over. But 2026, could you give us the list again the same way, that what you have day shift, you have a night shift, you have a power shift, and what your officers are? I need a little bit more detailed version of this same organizational chart, that full-time employees, part-time employees, if we have overtime, whatever you have, that's totally separate. Are fully staffed for 2026? 26. If you're not, you already answered it. But if you're not, please let us know what your needs are. as per whatever your requirements are, so we can not only see today what your needs are, but we need to budget for 2027 as well. So, yeah, that would be good. I don't have any other things for you, but I need a clarification on this. So,
Can you just, so you would like a copy of like a schedule? Is that what you're asking for?
I won't see the schedule. I would like to have the organizational chart the way you have it. You have full-time staff, if I may, what their names are, and same thing with the part-time employees, how many and what their names are. So
Okay.
for, you have it, we
Yeah.
should have it. So what their responsibilities are, so forth, I mean, the HR should have that, but I'd like to see that before really go any further with that. Thank you, but this is, I will say, one of the,
You want it emailed to you, or how would you like it?
I will say the board need to be shared, so
Okay. I mean, I can send it to everybody, that's fine.
I would ask that you share it with the entire board, please, Chief.
So you want
Thank
a
you.
list of all the employees' names, if they're full-time, part-time, their designated responsibilities, detective, patrol, sergeant, watch commander, deputy chief, that's what you're
yes,
looking for?
please.
Okay. Yeah, I
Yes,
can do
please.
that.
So this way, we know you're fully staffed, you're understaffed, and what we need to do to get you to that level.
Okay.
Thank
If you
you.
get us some good applicants, that's what I need. So, I think that's really the issue.
Good, thank you, thank you. That's all I have. Thank you.
In the interest of time, I want to remind you that we can table this to the next board meeting as well and have discussions. So if there's any, are there any other directors that you would like to
Yes,
call up?
I have few, but I will be a little faster,
Okay.
please. Yes. Our finance director, Julie, not Julie, I'm sorry, Susan Micah, please. Yeah. Thank you, Susie. Appreciate you, you coming up and giving us the details and giving us what's going on with the budget and so forth. I have a quick question for you also, that are you fully staffed with your,
Finance
with your staffing need right now?
Correct. At this point, yes, we are. We have 5 full-time employees, and we are fully staffed.
You have 5 full-time employees in your department,
Correct.
including you?
Correct.
Okay. Do you have any need for the future?
Not at this moment, no. I think that where we're at, and what we're trying to accomplish, as long as those continue to perform, we will be fine. Our biggest thing is because of how far behind we were with our audits, getting financial reports out to you at the board every month, that kind of stuff, we're behind. So we're, playing a lot of catch-up with what we have, we're fine.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have for you.
Oh.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Parker and Rex, please. Tim, thank you very much. Appreciate you coming on board, and in short time you did so many things. Same thing, I'm going to be very quick. I'd like to know how many full-time employees in your staff and also part-time employees per department that what we have. I have the board here, which also says we have a assistant director under Park and Rec. A lot of things are going to come together, but I just want to know what your full-time capacity is and what's your part-time capacity is, what your needs are. Because information I have, even though it's in a budget, but I don't have a clear picture. So I need to have that clear picture on your organizational chart, please. So that would be another thing. And I don't think I'm done, but I'm going to just read out. So with the time constraint, I'm going to come back. We're going to have a lot of questions. I have personally a lot of questions. Then we also have a Public Works. Rich Salerno, is he our director right now? Rich Salerno, please. Thank you. Good evening. Just a quick thing here, what I have is I see your chart that you have a village engineering working on, is that also under you?
The village engineer is not, we're equal.
They're under village manager, okay. So what you're saying is that I see under you only Public Works,
That's correct, Public Works.
and you also have, same thing, you have a full-time employees, you have part-time employees?
We have seasonal employees and yes, and full-time employees.
Do you have any contractual employees?
Currently, we do not have any contractual employees.
Okay, even the seasonal employees, they're on a salary, correct?
They are,
Okay,
an hourly wage.
they're on hourly wage. So, I mean, we should know how many hours or so forth, either we can give by hours or by employees. I like to have a very clear picture of your department saying that these are our full-time employees, and this is what we have, and a complete list with the names.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. And I will say, same goes for the village, our village engineer. Kevin.
Engineering
I
staff?
need to have that, please.
Sure.
Okay, that's all I have for this. Then we're going to discuss a little further with Susie Micah, please, about the budget, that if she can explain me a few things here, that we can go over where we are at today. Is this budget is balanced? I have some more questions that if she can answer those, that would be good, and then we can just move on.
All right, it has been a lengthy discussion, so I'm going to ask if we can limit it to maybe about 5 minutes, and then that will be that for now. Thank you, Director Micah.
Thank you. Thank you, Susie. Again, I'm sorry to keep bringing you back and forth. And I know we have 2025 budget, which is, I'm looking at your report. I'm going by the report right now because I don't have anything else to go by and see what it is. 2025 budget, last page of the budget. I mean, this is very intense. I can see that this is, I'm not an accountant, but I just want to know.
Are you looking at the general fund, or are you looking overall? All the
I'm
funds?
looking at the overall, where we are at, and then how you know, I see so many departments, that we have so many departments with the employees and full-time, part-time, their expenses. We are also looking for overtime and so forth, whatever we have. I'm looking at just the 2025 budget here, that actually you're showing here at the last line, we are in 10,758,175. And then I'm looking at the budget,
General, you're looking at all the funds? or
at the end, the last one.
the- Right, but you're looking at the original budget.
The total picture. This is the total picture here?
So it's the very last column. So that shows the grand total for all of the funds for the entire village. So it's showing that there's $71.7 million in revenues anticipated, with $85 million in expenses, for an overall deficit spending of $13.3 million.
13 point, yes. So, but I'm looking at, this is the 2026, this is the end of 2026?
This is what we're anticipating, but that we're looking at budgeting for 2026. But this is all of the funds. It's general fund, it's MFT, it's parks, it's recreation, it's the entire village.
Are we looking at this budget as a balanced budget, or we're looking at this budget as it's going to be in deficit?
No, it's a deficit budget. It's not a balanced budget. So if you look at individual, each department for like the general fund. So the page that shows you the general fund, and I apologize that you can't really see the page numbers on there, but it's page 13. that shows you I'm sorry, page 12, that shows you overall, which is the very last column, that we're anticipating $29.1 million in revenues and 34.2 in expenses, which leaves a deficit spending of $5.1 million. That overall comes into play with this fiscal year. If you look at the column that shows 2025 projected, that where we're anticipating to land this year is at 37.6 million in revenues and 32.1 in expenses, so we're looking at having a surplus of 5.1. As I mentioned before, that surplus is because of the $10 million that we got from IDNR, so that's helping us have that balanced budget for this year, surplus for this year, and the expectation is to use that surplus to help fund this 5.1 million deficit just in the general fund. However, when you flip over and you look at the other funds, so like Fund 11, so Fund 11 is on page 13 and 14. The anticipation is to spend $2.3 million and receive $2.3 million in revenue, so that it's the net zero. There are some funds that look like it's deficit spending. MFT is one of the funds off the top of my head on there. The Capital Improvement Fund is one of them that's on there. And that is because that there is money sitting in reserves. So you don't see the reserves balance in, because that's not how budgets are presented. That's not how the ERP system is set up to roll and show you that information overall on that aspect. So the anticipation is that 13.9 or $13.3 million for all the funds that looks like deficit spending is because we're going to be using reserves to move forward with those expenses.
Do you see 2027 budget is going to be better, or 2025 budget is going to be, what do you see a trend right now?
No, so my goal to work on for the first quarter in 2026 is a 5-year budget plan that will take an account into where we are expecting trend to go based on what the economy is telling us for revenues, and then what the inflationary rate is going at for expenses. What we've seen, and I think it's Trustee Kumar that in her list of questions that she sent on Saturday was asking about what are some of the pressures in the budget. And a lot of those pressures are, inflation and cost of projects, personnel costs. A lot of those day-to-day things are going up at a higher rate than the revenues are projected to come in. And so what my goal is to do is for the first quarter of 2026 is to get that 5-year plan so that you, as the board, I can show you that this is what we're guesstimating. We don't know, but if you're looking at it, that this is what we're thinking coming in for revenue. And even if we hold the line at where we're at for expenses, but we know inflationary, we're going to know at the end of December what the labor board is going to turn around, or the census board is going to release what the CPI is going to be. So we can take that number and use it as a baseline for the increase in expenses. And that'll give you an idea, and then we take that number and do it year after year for the following 4 years. Just looking at it now, if you look at the historical spending from 2020, 2021, 2022, on there. Now, you guys see 23 and 24 just because of how much space is on there without needing a magnifying glass. I need a magnifying glass to read it anyways because it's so small. But looking at 23 and 24, when that budget was brought to you for 2025, it was a deficit spending budget for this year. It was $4.3 million that was projected. And as we've presented to you as well, is that we saw that the police pension fund wasn't budgeted for that. The liability insurance wasn't budgeted. There were a lot of invoices for past that wasn't paid. So once we get all that caught up, we've got those numbers, we can present that 5-year plan. It gives you a better idea of where we're at, so that this way you can turn around and make decisions on what we need to do in 2026 to sustain and continue providing the services that we are doing right now for the village in the future.
Just a quick thing now, and this will be the last question. Is this recreational center, I know we budgeted and we asked for, it's going to be built for a certain amount of time. Do we know we have that number, the dollar amount? And what we're saying is what we spent on this, and also this next 2026, this is going to be again, is going to be self-sufficient, or we're going to be funding this as well?
So the Recreation Department gets a transfer from the general fund every year. So the projection, I believe, is $913,000 or $931,000. That is the request to be transferred from the general fund to recreation in 2026 to help it fund their operations. So that right there tells you that it's not self-sufficient.
I know we are short with time, but may I send you an email? Perhaps you can answer some of those questions that I have, that where the final numbers are, and then maybe we can discuss that in the next board meeting again, please, because.
And if I'm speaking out of line here, I'm gonna apologize in advance. But I know that, what was presented to you in 2025, and for you to be able to have some of those numbers to look at, to help you make the decision for 2026, isn't the greatest, because that's not what past staff has done. What we're working on is I understand that what we gave you here is just the numerics of what was spent in 2023 and 2024, so that you can actually see that that's what came in the door and that's what went out the door. The purpose of the 2025 column was to show you what was budgeted and where we're thinking we're gonna land, and then what 2026 is what we're going at, right? When we put this book together and presentation for you for 2026, my goal for the future is that you will have that going forward too, so that this way when you're looking at future year's budget, you don't have any of this confusion and, you know, what's this, what's that, it'll all be in front of you. Unfortunately, because of the short amount of time that I've had being here in my short time tenure here, as well as my colleagues who've been trying to put things together and help me here, we don't have that information for you, and I feel bad for that, but know that we are working to get you that, so that starting in 2026, you'll have that book and you'll feel a lot more comfortable. I know that doesn't help ease the concerns right now, but I want you to know that that is something that is on our agenda, that is on our target for us to work on, to help you in making your decisions that you need for now and the future of the village.
Thank you. I'd just like to add all of this organizational chart with that budget as well, so we see where everything is before we make any future decision. I'm done. Thank you. Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to hold off on this and table it to the next meeting.
All right, we have a motion to table this until the next meeting. Do we have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Clerk Longcott, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Cordova.
Yes.
Trustee Constados.
Yes.
Trustee Kozar.
Yes.
Trustee Kumar.
Yes.
Trustee Sabri.
Yes.
Deputy Village President Carrie Alfano.
Yes. Item 12B, an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving an economic incentive agreement with Bone Properties LLC for the sharing of municipal retailers' occupation tax revenues. This resolution would approve a tax incentive agreement with the owner of 880 North Addison, where Bone Roofing Supply, Inc. operates. The agreement is designed to incentivize the company to renovate and expand its current operations in Villa Park. Staff recommends approval. Manager Rivas, I'm going to ask, do you have a memo or any other information that you can provide on that?
Yes, we can. And what you just read is actually part of the background. The village entered into a tax incentive agreement with Bone Properties on LLC on December 7th of 2012 to induce the developer into purchasing the property located at 880 North Addison. Under the terms of that agreement, the village rebated the developer a portion of the sales tax generated from the business on the property. The developer did buy the property and constructed its current warehouse. The developer's roofing supply business has grown significantly, far exceeding projections from 13 years ago. The developer has made several improvements to the property over the years and currently rents adjacent land for more storage, which the developer may attempt to purchase in the future. The original agreement expired almost 2 years ago. To maintain its growing business at this location, the developer must invest in more construction and renovations on the property. The developer has requested another incentive similar to the prior agreement. And on page 282 of the packet, you will find a percentage breakdown of the economic incentive payments that would be given back to Bone Roofing. For the first 5 years, it'd be 50% a rebate of the sales tax, and the 2 years subsequently after, it'd be 65%, with that going to the village and 35% going back to Bone Roofing. In the last 3 years of the agreement, it would be 75% of the sales tax going to the village and 25% going back to Bone Roofing. Also on there is dates of work that the company must comply with on page 285 of the packet. And if they don't make those dates, then the contract in of itself becomes null and void. We hope none of that happens. They have been a great community partner, and we hope that moving forward that we can continue to do exceptional business with them.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by trustee Kozar. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by trustee Constados. Discussion?
Do we have any?
Trustee Sabri.
I'm sorry. Do we have any information that how much revenue we have received since 2012 on this particular? And really, I did not have a chance to review this at all. I mean, I apologize for that, but I know we have a motion, but I'd like to see some numbers and some data behind it, what we have, and why are we making another agreement from January 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2026. This is the thing, I'm asking the staff to perhaps they can give us a little bit more time to think about it, because I don't have any information.
Yes,
If
go
I may.
ahead, Manager Rivas.
The original contract we had from 2012, we far exceeded the tax projections that we expect to receive them. I don't have the hard numbers for you. We can get that to you at a later time. So based on that, and then based on their projections and their growth that they're looking at in 2027, expanding their business and their products, they have anticipated growth that we would definitely want to enjoy through an economic incentive program. It just makes good financial sense for us. We know they've been an exceptional partner. We don't want to lose them. They've had some overtures from other communities to possibly have them move out of town. We don't want to see that happen.
Trustee Sabri.
I understand that, but, we are bringing this thing again at the very last minute this is, we need some time to think about these ordinances and so we can really study them. I need more data on this before I.
Trustee Kumar.
Is this, can I get Michelle House? Are you
Yes,
involved
Director
in-
House, would you mind?
Director House.
Thank you, Director House.
So I'm assuming this is similar to like the tax incentive in like a business development district? Is that a similar concept where you're giving them a tax incentive to do a construction?
So their original agreement was tied to dollars put into the development of their property and rebating certain sales tax that they would pay, that we would receive from them, they would receive back. This agreement has the same format. They would be doing some additional improvements to their property and receiving a portion of their sales tax back that the village would not be receiving.
And so it's only sales tax that they pay that we're giving a rebate on. It's just that's something I want to clarify, that we're giving them a rebate for staying in our village, doing business. And it's sales tax that they would generally fully pay the village otherwise, that we're giving a rebate on. Yes, and that's exactly, what I wanted to clarify.
And that is a tiered system then, right? And it gradually increases?
Over time, it gradually decreases.
Okay.
So over time, we receive more sales tax.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
From our
Sorry,
side of the village,
yeah.
yeah. Sorry.
That's okay.
Any other questions for Director House?
Yes, do we have that data? Could you please at least provide us with that data and also, I'm looking at some of the things that Bone Dry Roofing Company, I mean, I know we want to incentivize, and at the same time, we want to get some revenue from them. How good is this business? I mean, do we have, is this business is with the BBB, how many complaints we have on this and so forth? I know we want to incentivize it. This is the business we have, but I think we need to review a little further. I know they're there for a long time, but we also, we need some more data, some proof on this before we move further with the, again, we want to do a new agreement, but I don't have information.
I just wanted to clarify one thing. Director Micah said that we can pull sales tax data for the past 3 years, but we can't pull farther than that. Approximately last year, we received $500,000 from them, and then they would be proposing to increase their product moving forward with these developments. The village doesn't receive Better Business Bureau complaints, so we would have to do some additional research on that.
But if I hear you clear, may I, you said we can only get 3-year data?
Correct.
But I thought village should have more than 10-year data in our system.
On the sales tax? Yes, you may.
Trustee, that information is also something that we can request from the developer who would have those records in his
Yes, please, let's do
finance,
that.
and then would be
Yeah.
able to. I would add, though, that in our conversations, he projected that just over the next 5 years, he expects a 20% increase, which would amount to $15 to $20 million, he said.
Okay, I still have, I like to see some more data on it before we move further with this particular item. That's it. I don't have any question. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to clarify though with what I shared with Michelle earlier. The state of Illinois, when we go on there and we request a report from them, from the different, what do you call it? Retail establishments that collect sales tax dollars, when you go in there, they will only give you 3 years worth of data back. So unless the previous administration has a separate spreadsheet that they kept that data for those individual retailers that they collected the money, then we would have that. I haven't personally looked for anything beyond that for any retail development, so I can't, yes, we should have that in our system, but there's no guarantee by what's been done in the past. So I just want to put that out there, make it clear, because yes, we get sales tax dollars and the state remits that money to us, but we don't get a report that says 10,000 came from this retailer, 20,000 came from this one, et cetera, et cetera. We have to request a report, and again, they don't tie it back to every single specific dollar amount for the month. They just give you what the retailer paid out.
Thank you. We appreciate that, but perhaps we can follow up with that with more detail later on. That should be okay. Thank you.
All right, so we have a motion on the table. And it's seconded. Are we ready to vote? All right. Clerk Lunkett, roll call vote.
Trustee Cordova.
Yes.
Trustee Constados.
Yes.
Trustee Kozar.
Yes.
Trustee Kumar.
Yes.
Trustee Sabri.
Yes.
Deputy Village President Carrie Alfano.
Yes. And moving on to resolutions, 13B. Resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing the designation of certain village property along Julia Drive between Cross Street and Villa Avenue as a natural park space in Villa Park. This is a resolution to designate certain village property as a natural park. This resolution was recommended by the Garden Village Commission. Manager Rivas, do you have a memo on that as well, or no?
I do, thank you, Madam President. Some background. The Garden Village Commission discussed this idea over several meetings, voting to recommend village board action on November 20, 2025. The property in question is identified by parcel number 06-15-118-019. It is the green space along Julia Drive adjacent to Villa Avenue, across the street from the Sugar Creek Golf Course. In fact, the creek runs through this property.
All right, thank you. Do we have a motion?
I would like to make that motion.
I'll second
Motion
that
made by
motion.
trustee Kozar and seconded by trustee Constados. Discussion? Trustee Kumar?
I have a question. That is in a watershed. What is the definition of a natural park necessarily? Are there any restrictions? And why are we determining that as a park? What are the benefits?
Yes. Do you have, I have a little bit of that. I just have a little bit of it. I have been told that it's already in a flood zone. Designating it as a natural park opens up opportunity for the creation of a park. That does not necessarily mean a park where kids go to play on playground equipment, but it does mean an open space park. Trustee Kumar?
Can we talk to maybe someone from Parks and Rec to discuss the possibilities if we designate it as a natural park?
Absolutely. And while Director Howe is coming up, did you have anything else that you would like to add to that, Attorney Morton?
I would say that this is the initial step of anything that the village would want to do with this space. It sets the stage for turning into something else, but there are no current plans, as far as I know, at least concrete plans of what that would be.
Correct, to piggyback off of Ryan, whenever you develop something, you would need public input. So that'd be something that we would ask the residents to get their opinion on what they would like to see there. Keeping it natural, you're gonna put native pollinators there, so pollinator plants, things like that, because it is on a floodway, so it's going to be difficult to establish, like Trustee Gonzalez said, a playground or anything like that. That's not gonna be something that we're gonna be putting there, so it'd be more natural, some pathways, things like that, that can be used by the public.
So if you don't mind, another question then, you had mentioned like pollinator plants. Is this something then, if we call it and designate it a natural park, then that opens up the space for us to be able to design a planting space like that? We couldn't do that the way that it is currently?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for Director?
I just have a comment, because this happens to be one of my commissions. Basically, we're just trying to say we want to protect this property, rather than try to sell it and use it for something else, since it is a flood zone and can't really be used for anything else. We want to say, okay, let's designate it as a park, and then we can start to get some feedback on what type of park and what type of things we want to put in said park. So the first step is to basically just say, let's designate it as that, so we can't use it for anything else.
Could you then go over what the process is? I know you had mentioned, you had just touched briefly on what that process is for public input. So we do take this step to make it a natural park, then what?
Yeah, so we would get an engineer in or a landscape architect to come in and see exactly what is buildable, what is not buildable. And then once we meet with staff, we will come to the board after we get public input and introduce what we would look to build. And then we would go from there, get costs, get estimates, and then put something together.
Thank you. Trustee Kumar?
I'm not against calling it a natural park, but at this point, and designating it such, but at this point, with our current budget and so on and so forth, the spending is something that does concern me. And if it's just, I don't know what the spending is to designate it such, if it's just, as Trustee Constatus said, to allow it to be something at this point, I'm absolutely favorable to that, keeping it locked in, but I am not favorable to spending in any way to rejuvenate this park at this point.
Trustee Constatus?
Yes, thank you. And I understand, and we're not saying we want to spend any additional money, but let's remember, we do have the money from the program coming to the Garden Commission to go ahead and do stuff for parks, for one. and whatever is going to be within our budget for the year. So we're not saying at any time, like, we're gonna have this park done in 2026. This is just the first step of many that we need to take in order to proceed on. So basically, it's just protecting this property, saying nothing else is gonna go there, you know, and certainly, we're gonna start to think of other ideas with the input from residents and staff and the board, and obviously budget keeping in mind. But it is an opportunity to utilize that money from the electrical program to go ahead and try to use some of that funding there as well.
I think that there's been a theme tonight, too. I know I heard it from Director Micah, where we just want some plans in place. We just we want to give you a 5-year plan. We want to, I'm a teacher, I want plans. I think that it's important to have an idea of where you're going, because if you don't have a vision, then you don't really have direction, and you need to know where you're going. You don't just kind of throw it at the wall and see what sticks. Trustee Kumar?
And I'm not, you know, as I said, I'm for that. I just a little bit questioning, this park, would it be eligible to apply for grants like we have once it's designated, like we did with Lufkin, or we did, because contrary to popular belief, I do know that the engineering on any park is much more costly than we think, even for a natural park. You know, the money we get from the electrification is a drop in the bucket of probably what we're going to need, especially when you are in a watershed and you have to deal with the watershed aspect of things.
Sure, so if we do designate it a park, there's like grants out there, which is open space land and acquisition development, which we've gotten in the past, that could definitely help with the cost of that. There's stormwater grants out there that we can apply for, because it's a local floodway that we could clear up clean up the shore that's over there, the stream bank. There's definitely funding opportunities out there that we can go for once it's designated as a park.
Yes.
I also feel that in this day and age, sometimes you just need a park bench to sit.
Yeah.
And like there's nothing wrong with that, you know, just have a space and have some nature around you. We don't have forest preserves here in Villa Park. We do have the Prairie Path. It's often very busy. So if you have some place where you can just sit and contemplate, I don't think that's a bad thing either. I don't think we always have to entertain everybody all the time, you know? That's my 2 cents.
Yes, thank you.
Trustee Constados.
Yes, I think the first step is just making it so that way it's designated as that. I think a lot of people, when you think park, you think like playground, this, that. Not every park has to be that, you know what I mean? It could just be all natural with a few pollinators and a bench or a this, or it can be kept simple. But right now, I think that's kind of just jumping the gun. Right now, we're just saying, hey, this is an area that obviously can't be used for many things. So since we can designate it as this, let's do that first step, and then we'll take it a step further by looking at options, you know what I mean? Before we even spend money, of course, we're gonna sit and we're gonna discuss what options are, so. This is just the first step.
Yep. Thank you, Director. All right. Clerk Lonkett, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Cordova.
Yes.
Trustee Constados.
Yes.
Trustee Kozar.
Yes.
Trustee Kumar.
Yes.
Trustee Sabri.
Yes.
Deputy Village President Gary Alfano.
Yes. Moving on to 14, unfinished business. Any unfinished business? Trustee Constados.
Yes, thank you. I have a couple of things, actually, I kind of want to bring up. I would like to know if we could please get an update on the developer that we hired, to see if we could get a report as to what's been done so far. I don't know if maybe Manager Rivas can tell us that now, or just an update. We tend to not really kind of get updates on a lot of things, so I just wanted to know, has he reached out to any developments? Has he spoke with anybody? Anything possible in the works? Like, has he spoke with our staff? Kind of where are we sitting on that?
Just a quick summary. He's done a tremendous amount of outreach to many different businesses and different opportunities to maybe combine some parcels. He does give us a weekly report.
Okay.
And so we can submit those to the board for
Yes.
your
If-
perusal.
I appreciate that. If we could get some updated reports, even if it's a monthly report, just something so that we're kind of kept in the loop as to what's going on with that. I was also going to ask for an update with the union. We kind of haven't had anything updated on that recently, and I know that some residents have been asking questions. So do we have an update on any of that we can give to the people?
Trustee, we are deeply ingrained in the process of closing on the bonds and the sale of the property, which both of those things, moving forward, talking to the developer every day, talking to bond counsel every day, we expect the closing to occur before Christmas. So once the closing occurs, then the developer will be ready to take the steps necessary to develop the property.
Okay, thank you. And then the only other thing I have is kind of combined with myself and trustee Kozar. Quite some time ago, we inquired about asking about an email set up to where the residents could send in a letter of concern, and it would go to one email rather than picking and choosing who they'd like to share their email with, and it would disperse to all of the trustees, so all the trustees could always see what residents' concerns were. It was mentioned, but we never touched back base on that, and I know that was something that we thought would be a good idea, like one centralized email. Another idea we also had to piggyback off that was it would be a good way to also utilize if we wanted to somewhat take a survey, let's say, and get opinions from the residents. They could send in their answers to that email that would be dispersed to all of us to share. I know we talked about sharing emails that come in from residents, and we all say we get emails, but only one trustee sees it, and it's never shared with the rest of the board. So I think if we had one sort of centralized email and it dispersed out to all of us, we'd all get to see the concerns of everybody and share on that.
Go ahead, trustee Kumar.
I am not against having a centralized email necessarily, but I do feel that the people who reach out are going to reach out to whichever trustee they feel like reaching out to, and that comes from, just how it's worked always, and that's just kind of board policy kind of thing.
I
So
would say that that's true, but I would also
Yeah.
say that there have been emails that have gone into my junk email, and I have not seen them. And yes, people have have reached out to me, but they go into junk email, and so some people may see it and some people may not. I've worked with IT, and there's not really a workaround around that. I don't know why it goes into some people's inbox and why it goes into my junk mail, but that would alleviate that whole issue.
In response to the emails, we can set up an email group, and we'll put disclaimers on it so there's no OMA violations. So we'll make sure that it's put up at the top, and we can have IT working on that as soon as possible.
Is it possible to not allow us to reply to it, just so that it's kind of like an inbox, kind of like when we have questions that are coming in?
That is above my skill level. I will look into that.
All right, thank you, sir. Trustee Cordova.
Thank you. So today at 12:16, we got an email from a resident asking about something else. But they sent an email to feedback@invillapark.com, and it came to 9 of us. So you get the village manager, you get the village president, you get the trustees, and the village clerk. So feedback@invillapark.com gets you to everyone up here. Yeah, everyone up here. So, I didn't know that existed, so.
So did they start?
They
I think we
started
built this a
something.
few months ago, to tell you the
Okay.
truth.
So that might have been when we were, oh, sorry.
Go ahead, trustee
Sorry,
Gonzalez.
I wasn't recognized, I apologize. Thank you. So did we start that when we talked about it, but never finished telling us that we started it? Because we did discuss calling it feedback in Villa Park.
It is possible that it was just kind of in test.
So then I guess my question would also be, can we get staff to start putting that out to the public so they're aware that it's there? Because if we weren't even aware, I'm sure they're not aware either. and it could be a really good tool to utilize. I'm not saying that we get rid of our individual emails by any means. If somebody's more comfortable sending it to a direct trustee, that's great. But I think that it could also, like I said, be utilized in a situation where we want feedback, and let's say we're saying like, hey, how do you guys feel about this topic? It could almost be used like a survey. Instead of me saying, well, I got 50 emails and you got 20 but we're not sharing these emails, it could be a way of us to keep better track of who's saying what together.
Attorney Morton just showed me that it is on the website.
It is.
So yes, it's on the website, so
we
it
just
is
weren't all
there.
told.
Under contact the village board.
Well, all righty.
Alrighty then.
That's
Trustee Kumar?
awesome.
Actually,
Learn
it's
something
been
new every
on
day.
there for a while, since the previous administration. We've finally got people to use it. And
Hey.
I think maybe trustee Costados has a point that a little bit of marketing may be a better way to deal with that than anything else.
Well, that seems like an easy problem to solve then, unfinished business and finished business.
Uh-huh.
Any other unfinished business to address? Any new business? Item 15, new business. Trustee
I'm
Constados.
sorry, it's me again. I have a couple things. I would like to request that we do a cow and discuss for the new year coming up some permits and maybe permit changing. And I'd like to get the feedback of the residents in reference to like what they have been through in the process, what they would like to see changed, what they think maybe isn't a necessary permit. I'd like to also get feedback from our staff. I've been kind of talking with that department a lot lately, being that I moved my business, and they have really good ideas too, and they do this every day. So I would kind of like, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with our department over there, I think sometimes we just need to refine things and change with the times. So maybe if we got some feedback from our residents saying, well, when we do a project in our kitchen, I'm just going to use an example. Let's say I just want to take my cabinets down and put up new cabinets in the same place that are more modernized. Don't necessarily think I would need should need a permit for that. Where we can have some discussion about that and maybe have some talk on things that maybe we can start to change and do a little different.
So Manager Rivas, I'm not sure if this is the same thing, but December 12th, the coffee talk and construction that is on the calendar, would that be Manager Rivas, Director House? I'm not sure which director.
We're going to bounce this off of Director Howe because it
Okay.
is her
I
initiative.
saw it on the calendar and I was really excited. I was going to bring it up in my report later.
I would never want to steal her thunder.
So that event is new, that my department's having. The goal is to have all of my staff available to discuss any future construction projects that residents may have going on. So we'll have zoning review, our plumber there to answer questions, our building plan reviewer available. So that way we can tell you exactly what you need for any planned project that you may have coming up. We'll have coffee and donuts. Trying to be more friendly, available for our residents to pre-plan over the winter for any new projects that you might do in 2026. So we're going to do a couple of them. The first one is this Friday.
If you would be able to let us know how that goes, let us know how many are in attendance, and then maybe we can even think about some other ways that people who work might be able to get to that too and brainstorm, depending on what that success looks like. But I think that's a great idea. Thank you, Trustee Constados.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, and that's wonderful, educating the residents on that. I think the route I was more so going was to try to maybe see a little bit of change. And I think that getting resident feedback coming back, because they're the ones that are applying for permits, they're the ones that are having work done, and also our staff together, there may be some things we just need to update and align more, and look at other areas around us and what they have as far as their departments go.
Sure.
That was one thing I had, but then I had a couple more, if I may. I'd like to also request that we receive monthly permit reports and police and fire reports as well. I had heard that we used to do the police and fire, and I don't know why we don't anymore. But I think that if we could once a month at least get a report that also goes into the packet to the residents so they can see what's going on, so they know, you know, we had X amount of fires this month, we had X amount of whatever arrests and dogs that were turned in or whatever. Something simple. It doesn't have to be very, you know, detailed, but just something so people know. You know, you always hear kind of little things here and there, so if we could have that report and permit reports, how many people are applying for permits, you know? I think that would be some great information to have for ourselves and the residents as well.
Any other new business?
Yes, I would like.
Trustee Kozar.
Moving forward to a little too fast. Yes, please, I would like to add.
Trustee Kozar.
Oh,
I'd like to see our adjudication court on Thursday recorded. I was looking into it. I don't see that there's any reason that it can't be recorded. I think it would be a good way to lend some transparency to what's going on there and maybe alleviate some of the complaints or rumors that I've heard along the way about what goes on those Thursday courts. So I would like to implement that. If anybody has a reason not to do that, I'd like to know why they would not like to do that. Otherwise, we can work with Suncom to make that happen.
Is that all?
That's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Trustee Sabri.
Long night, because I said that I
all
pretty
right.
much worked all night. I would like to see if we could look into, instead of our emails are coming in as invillapark.com, because what I noticed is that last week, we have received some funny emails coming from President Patrick.
But not really.
It
yeah.
was not coming from him. So apparently, if they could do that, I think if we can look into creating or changing over to .gov, because .gov is a little bit better, a system that they control. It may cost a little bit money, but I would like to see if we can change over to, instead of in Villa Park, to a .gov, because most of the municipalities are using that kind of a system.
Yes, go ahead, Manager Rivas.
I think IT has that already in place, and we're going to be transitioning. I don't know the exact date of that, but that's going to be the plan moving forward,
.gov?
of changing our, well, I don't know if it's going to be .gov. I would imagine it would be, but I need to confirm that. It's something that's been looked at for quite a while. So the plan is in place. I just don't know the date, and I can get back to you on that.
Yes. Thank you.
Trustee Kumar.
As long as we're asking for updates, I've always wanted at least a quarterly update on the strategic plan, where we're moving on that. And I would appreciate if we could get that from staff at one point. I know it's been a busy season with budgets, but I would like to see that and see where we're moving and how far we've gotten on the measures and so on that particular plan, because that is our shorter 5-year plan.
Or maybe create a calendar of some kind that's out of the budget season so they can
Yeah.
focus on that for a moment. Thank you. Any other new business? Number 16, item 16, Village Commission recommendations, Community Recreation Commission, Villa Park Youth Baseball fees waiver. Is there a memo for that one?
Thank you, Madam President.
Yes.
There is not a memo, but there's a suggestion in a form through the Community Recreation Commission. The date of the commission vote was 10/22/25. It was 4 yes, 1 abstain, and with their recommendation and some background on it. The commission is making this recommendation at the request of the VPYB, that's the Villa Park Youth Baseball and Softball, has recently donated their funds to resurface High Ridge and D45 Jefferson's Fields 1 and 3 this year, totaling to the amount of $28,215. Our village staff liaison, Gina, said that the Recreation Department spent $9,864 dragging the fields and emptying the trash. What we're asking, and what the commission is asking, is that their fees be waived. for 2025, it says. But I'd have to double check. That possibly is going to be for 2026, since they put in 9,000 renovations at High Ridge Field.
All right, thank you. Do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This isn't an action item.
Oh, it's not an action item?
No.
Okay, so we don't have to vote on it?
Yeah, right.
Oh,
I can
go
chime in
ahead,
if you're.
please do.
So this is separate on your agenda from, for instance, there was the earlier recommendation from regarding the natural park. That came from a recommendation from a commission that required action from the board, so it was placed in the resolution section. This is informational and placed in the recommendation section so that the village board can reach a consensus if they want tonight, they don't have to tonight, to decide how you want to move forward. After talking with the chair of the Community Rec Commission about this, my suggestion would be that if this is something that the village board is amenable to, it be worked into the agreement that we were already drafting with the Villa Park Youth Baseball. That would be just a condition of that agreement, rather than a separate vote by this board. Then the board would ultimately be voting on that agreement.
Is it possible for us to revisit the agreement and then make that decision and put it in
Absolutely.
at that time? Anybody else have any comments?
No, I
Trustee
agree.
Cordova?
I agree, yeah, especially since we don't, our budget is,
Priority.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. Any other comments? Moving on to 17, Village Clerk's Report.
I have no comments.
Number 18, Village Trustees Report. I will start to my left with Trustee Kumar.
I have no report.
Trustee Sabri.
I have no report.
Trustee Constatos.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll keep it brief. The weather's been cold, and we were hit with a lot of snow. And I want to thank our village staff for tackling that as best as they did. I know there was some comments floating on social media, and I just want to say that you guys handled that wonderfully. It was a lot of snow coming in very quickly. I encourage you not to listen to any of the comments that come in. It's usually from people who don't have any snow plowing experience. My husband did it for 20 years, so I know what it entails. But thank you so much for doing all the hard work you guys did, staying up as long as you did and working as hard as you did to keep our streets clear as best as possible with what Mother Nature gave us, for one. For two, I'd like to say thank you to our permit department. I have been working with them for quite some time over the last couple of months, and they were a big help for me and in explaining things to me properly, to do the way of doing things for the permits that I needed, and getting accomplished what I needed to do. So I wanted to say thank you. You guys are doing a great job. I know there's a lot of change going on, but you're doing well. Thank you. The only other thing I have is just kind of keep an eye on your neighbors. It's been really cold out. The weather's going to get colder. We have been trying so hard to get our first Seniors Concerns Commission meeting up and running. We have hit a few bumps in the road, but I think we'll be able to finally have our first meeting in January. So please come with us with any concerns you may have, but check on your seniors, please. See if they need some help with their driveway or their sidewalk or something with their ice, or if they need somebody to run to the store for them or anything of that sort. And that's pretty much all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Cordova.
No comment, no report.
Trustee Kozar.
I have no report.
Deputy President report. I want to thank you for providing me the grace as I stumbled through tonight's meeting and substituted for President Patrick this evening. Thank you to the Chamber of Commerce and to all who sponsored and supported Joyful Traditions this past Saturday. It always gets positive feedback, and I think that it is in the tradition that is the soul of that event, Younger kids look forward to it every time of year, and there are a lot of kids this year that really need that tradition that we may not know. So I really do appreciate that emphasis on keeping that a child and family-oriented event so that families can look forward to it every year. Tomorrow, there's a Fun Commission meeting from 5:30 to 6. On December 10th, a special meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals from 6 to 7. December 12th, Coffee Talk and Construction from 9 to 10:30. Friday, December 12th, is our first annual Town Hall from 5 to 9 here at the Rec Center. There'll be food, there'll be raffles, there'll be tables. You can come and see lots of different commissions, but also different organizations in Villa Park, and there'll be a band. We hope that you can make it there. Come and talk to us. And thank you to those of you who have been removing snow for your neighbors and at the sidewalks where people have to walk and cross the street. I would encourage all of you to kind of keep an eye out for that and pay attention to where those bus stops. And also just be kind to each other. This is the time of year where it can be really rough. You just don't know what people are going through. Numbers that you might need. Remember, there are food pantries. We have a list of those on our website. 211 DuPage County is where you can go with any assistance that you might need for housing, for shelter. 988 Suicide Prevention Hotline. This is an incredibly difficult time of year for many, so 988 is that number should you ever find that you or somebody that you love might need it. And that's all that I have. Village Manager's report.
Thank you. I just have a couple things. In the last weekly report for the manager's report, I talked about winter operations and acknowledging the hard work done by Public Works and by the Parks Department. Tremendous job working around the clock from Saturday to Sunday of the big snow event. And then obviously we just had another smaller one. And you're going to always get complaints because you don't get these in June and July about snow removal. So I fully appreciate, I see what you do, and just keep doing what you're doing. And I know it's a tough job, but we thank you for what you're doing. Also, I just want to thank staff in general. It's a tremendous amount of hard work we're doing closing out this last quarter. We're under a lot of pressure. I understand that. It just finished strong. We have each other. Let's support one another, and we'll get through this together. So I thank you, and that's all I have.
Thank you. The last thing on our agenda is 22, adjournment. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Trustee Constados. Do we have a second? Trustee Kumar? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Any nays? All right. Do I have to say when we're meeting? Okay. All right, and we are closing out tonight's
Things here.
special meeting of